Okay, let's start writing a one paragraph essay. So far we have actually made our topic and narrowed it down, and after that we did pre-writing. I mean we used pre-writing techniques to collect data, and we determine the audience, tone, point of view, tense, and other aspects we should actually take into account. And finally we made a plan. Okay, we made a plan for our writing. Let's look at the plan here. We will have a plan like this. The outline for one paragraph essay will be like this. The first sentence will be the topic sentence. The introductory sentence will be the topic sentence. One sentence is enough here, and then we have some paragraphs as the body paragraphs, or the supporting details. Then we should prove the first sentence using some examples, some data here in the middle. Okay, and after that we should restate the topic sentence. This means that we should say the first sentence again here, but using different words, not the same words as the first sentence, but using different words. The same concept, the same meaning, but different words. Okay, this is the blueprint, or the outline of a one paragraph essay. You can put more than three sentences in the middle. For example, you can put five sentences here. You can put some examples, a statement from a prominent scholar, a well-known person, or what happened to you, something like an anecdote, what happened to you, or a kind of story, or whatever it is. Uh, so that you can prove the first sentence is correct. Okay, you are actually collecting and writing the body sentences, the supporting detail, in order to prove that the first sentence is right, the first sentence is correct. This means that you are going to support your claim. Here you claim something, and in the middle you support that claim and you prove it right. Okay, let's look at some examples here. Some sample one paragraph essay here. The first one is there are many reasons that I love to teach. First of all, I love to teach because I love being at a school. Another reason I love teaching is that the days go by quickly. A third reason I love to teach is because I love seeing a student understand something new. These are just a few reasons I love to teach. Let's look at the structure of the paragraph. At the top, the first sentence in yellow is the topic sentence. This is actually claiming that several reasons actually motivate me to teach at a school. Then, if I want to prove this sentence right, I have to collect some data and show some evidence that the first sentence is right. Here, the first, the second, another, and a third reason. First of all, another, and a third reason show that we have collected here three reasons. Okay, and the first reason says that I love teaching because of the atmosphere, the school atmosphere. The second reason is that these days go by quickly, and I actually the time passes quickly. This is the second reason, and the third reason is that I, as a teacher, actually enjoy teaching others, because when they learn something new, I have a good sense. I feel good, something like this. Okay, and again at the last sentence you can see that the last sentence is not a reason here. We have three reasons, first, another, and a third reason. The three sentences in the middle are the reasons, but the last sentence is not the reason. This is restating the first sentence, re-saying it again. Okay, these are just a few reasons I love to teach. The same sentence, there are many reasons. Here, these are just a few reasons. The same sentence, the same concept and meaning, but the words were different. I mean, here we use different words from this first sentence, but the same meaning is being conveyed. Okay, the the first sentence is called topic sentence. The last sentence is called the restated or reworded topic sentence, and the middle three sentences in different colors you can see is called actually the supporting details. You can include more than three sentences here, or less than three. For example, you can include two sentences, but three is more common. Okay, let's look at the other example here. Another sample one paragraph essay here. Students require more recreational time in order to better focus on lessons in class. In this lecture, in this writing, and the author, the writer of the text, argued that students need more time to refresh themselves if they want to focus better on the lessons. Okay, and then we need two sentences or more than two sentences, three sentences, four sentences in the middle. The number doesn't matter here. The important point is that the two sentences or the three sentences in the middle should prove this sentence right. We need some sentences, some evidence, some data, some statistics, a story, anecdote, or something else to prove this first sentence is correct, to prove that our claim is correct. In this sentence, I mean in the second sentence, in fact, studies have shown that students who enjoy a recess of more than 45 minutes consistently score better on tests immediately following the recess period. This means that if you have a kind of recess time, I mean if you rest sometime, for example, for more than 45 minutes, and if you take a test right after that rest, you can score better. Then this is the finding of or the data is showing this. The statistics showing this. For example, scientists finding is showing this. Then this is very important for us. And the second evidence is that clinical analysis further suggests that physical exercise greatly improves the ability to focus on academic materials. The second example, the second evidence is also showing that the students, if they take a rest, if they actually stop working, if they have a recess time, they can actually score better. They can focus better on their lessons. Okay, here the way they take the rest, or I mean they have a break, is different. Here the physical exercise is the point of focus, but at the upper sentence, the recess, I mean the rest itself was the point of focus. Then these two sentences are showing that the first sentence is correct. Okay, the first sentence, the first claim, I mean the sentence in yellow is correct. And finally, at the end, you can see the last sentence, the sentence in green, which shows that you are restating the first sentence. I mean the first sentence is said again here. You said the first sentence again here. Longer periods of recess are clearly required to allow students the best possible chances of success in their studies. This means that you are restating the first sentence again. The concept and the meaning is the same. The wording, yes, is different, but it doesn't matter because we have to change the words most of the time. Sorry, because we have to change the words most of the time, specifically when we are writing for the IELTS exam. We are not allowed to use cliches. We are not allowed to use prefabricated and pre-memorized phrases or clauses. Then we should be creative and we should change the words. This actually will help you learn how to rephrase the sentences, and it will be practical specifically for university students and for those who want to take the IELTS exam. Okay, let's look at the other example here. We have another example, one paragraph essay here. The example is, I recommend we buy a second copying machine. We discussed this example earlier. The first reason I recommend we buy a second copying machine is that the copying machine was broken for several days this month. During that time, nobody was able to do any photocopying, which as you know, is crucial to our work. This means that the first sentence, the first is claim here. The first sentence is claim, but the second, third, and first here, first, also and finally shows that we are starting new actually discussions, new concepts here, and they are called transition words. Okay, they are called transition words, like therefore, first, second, third, finally, and then later, next. They show the order, but we have some others, for example, so, therefore, thus, hence, and they show something else. We have moreover, in addition, and some others which show that we are adding something to the previous concept, previous sentences. Then we will talk them all in our grammar lessons. Okay, you can actually attend my grammar lessons, grammar courses. In that course, or in those courses better to say, I will teach you how to use these actually first, second, although, and all of them, the transition words. Here we use although. It had routine maintenance during 2 other days this month. Then nobody could use the machine. This means that this is the second proof, that the second reason that I recommend we buy a second copying machine. And finally, here we have the last reason here, and the last reason is, finally, several people have large copying projects that keep our others from using the machine. That this means that this large projects prevent other people using the machine. And this means that this is the third reason here, because we have first, also, and finally. This means that this is the third. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. These are the three reasons that we need a second copying machine. Okay, for these three reasons, at the final sentence, it says again, for these three reasons. This means that we have three reasons here. I strongly recommend we buy a second copying machine. The same sentence is being repeated here, but the words are a bit different. This means that you should paraphrase the sentences. Actually, you should rewrite your sentences to score better in IELTS exam. And specifically when you are writing a thesis, actually an article, research paper, or something like that, you are also you're forced to use different wording. Okay, different wording, so that the plagiarism is lower and lower. Okay, let's look at the other example here. Another sample one paragraph essay. Here we have another one. In this actually example, I left some places and some lines blank so that you can fill in this form here. It says that public transportation is better than private cars. This is the claim, okay? Yes, this is the claim. This is the topic sentence. And at the end, I wrote the due to the aforementioned reasons, it is fair to conclude that public transportation is more advantageous than cars. This is again repeating the same sentence, okay? Although it is a bit long, longer than the first, it says the same sentence, okay? Public transportation is better than private cars. Here it is being said that public transportation is more advantageous than cars. Am I right? Then it is the same sentence. The words are different, the wording is different. Here I rephrase the sentence, but the same concept and meaning is being conveyed here. You should put three reasons that public transportation is better. Then this is a practice for you, and you can put three reasons here to prove that the first sentence is correct. Okay, you have to do this practice and send me the written text, and I try to check all them one by one and help you learn better. Here you can see that first, secondly, and finally. First, secondly, and finally. You can put instead here instead of secondly, you can put first, second, and third. Okay, first, next, and finally. Okay, you can actually use different words here, but I use first, secondly, and finally. Let's look at this sample one paragraph essay. This will also help you understand better. Here we have only the topic sentence. Only the topic sentence. It says that older people prefer to live in small villages than larger places like cities. It is claiming that elderly people prefer to live in small areas, not in big cities like London, for example, like New York, for example. They prefer to live in suburban places. Okay. Uh, at the end of sentence, I mean at the end of the paragraph, we have a green part. You should rephrase the same sentence here and put it here at the end. For example, you can say that instead of older people, you can say the elderly. Instead of prefer to live, you can say actually use some other words. In small villages, you can say instead of in small villages, you can say, for example, suburban places, suburban areas, and then larger places like cities, you can say metropolitans. Am I right? Then you can change the words here at the end and use synonyms, antonyms, and the like to make the sentence seem different, but you should keep the concept the same again. And in the middle, you can put three sentences or three reasons. For example, you can say that in small villages or small areas, the air is better and the air is fresher. And since the air is fresher and older people can breathe better and easily, they prefer to live there. Okay. Or in small places, they live better because they can find natural food, for example, milk, yogurt, cheese, and the like, because they can use natural nutrients. And for the last reason, you can say that since the small places, the small villages are not so crowded, they can go walking easily, they can go out easily, they can go to park easily. and they can have easy access to everywhere they wish to go. This is the first reason. Then is the fresh air. The second reason is the natural food, and the third reason is the easy access to parks and places they wish to go. Then you can actually add whatever it is as the fourth reason, the fifth reason, the sixth reason. There is no limitation on the number of reasons. You can include 10 reasons as actually here to prove that the first is correct, the first sentence is correct. But the typical is 3 reasons. But you can add more or less. We had an example in which we had only 2 reasons. You saw that. Let's look at the other example, the other blueprint here. It is a sample 1 paragraph essay, and here we have only the topic or the title, not the topic sentence. We have not the topic sentence. It says that John a good student. This is not a sentence. You should write it as a sentence here. For example, you can say that John is a good student. Okay, John is a well-mannered student, or something like this. And if you want to say this first sentence here, based on this subject and predicate, subject and I mean the issue, you should make a sentence. And if you want to make that sentence, you should look at the last sentence to see what is claimed here. It says that since John has the above characteristics, we can conclude that he is a qualified and well-mannered student. Then he is a good student. Okay, if he is a good student, you can write that John is a good student very simply. Or you can use different words here, and you should write some actually reasons here. First, because he is an orderly person. Secondly, because he is an on-time student. He comes to the school always on time, and this means that he's a good student. Thirdly, because he does his homework very regularly, and it means that he can handle his homeworks to the teacher, I mean, and on time and regularly and neatly. Firstly, because he is a polite student, he behaves, for example, well with other students. And finally, because other people respect him, or you can say that because he respects other people. And this means that for these 5 reasons, he is a good student. Yeah, he is a well-mannered and qualified student. Then you can write this sentences like this in the middle as the support, and the first sentence at the top as the topic sentence. Okay, let's look at the other example here. 1 paragraph essay, sample 1 paragraph essay. Let's you should fill out this form. It says that Paris a good tourist resort. Okay, a tourist resort. You should make a topic sentence here. For example, you can say that Paris is a good tourist resort or destination, and at the end you can actually say the same concept again, the same meaning again. For example, you can say that Paris attracted the attention of a large number of people as a tourist destination in the year 2020, for example, 2021, 2022. And in the middle, you should write 3 reasons, for example, or more than 3 reasons, or 2 reasons. Okay. For example, you can say that based on the statistics, 1 million people visited Paris in the year 2021, and 1 million actually 1.1 in the year 2022. This is based on the statistics. Or based on for example, your observation, you can say that I saw tourists more often or more than other cities or other big cities in the world in Paris because this is your own observation. For example, you went to New York, you went to for example Roma, you went to, for example, Istanbul, you went to Paris, and saw the tourists there. I mean, visited the tourists there. You have the experience of seeing visitors in that. I mean, in those cities. But you think that the number of tourists in Paris is more than the number of tourists in other cities. Okay, then you can write your observation here, and in the last paragraph or the last sentence, you can write another reason, another actually data or something like this. For example, you can say that in Paris we have, for example, 30,000 hotels, but in the other cities, the cities like that, the cities like, for example, in Riyadh, we have only 500 hotels. This means that Paris is a good resort for tourists. These were also only examples. You should write the exact data. Okay, you should write the exact data to prove your claim. Okay, if you claim something, you should prove it right or wrong, and you should provide readers with the correct and exact data. Let's look at another example here. We have the written text "my hometown," and you should divide it into parts. Here we have "my hometown is famous for several amazing natural features." This is the first sentence, and you should divide it into parts like this. Okay, like this one. You should divide it like this one. Based on the paragraph above, fill in the following outline. Make adjustments if necessary. If it is needed, you can change the text. You should write like this: the introduction or the topic sentence at the top, and the reasons or the body. I mean the supporting detail in the middle, and finally the conclusion or the restating of the topic sentence at the end. You should divide it into parts like this, but let's read the text itself. Here, my hometown is famous for several amazing natural features. Here, first, you can take into account this word here. Here also it can help you. And the third amazing feature. This means that you can divide the text from here to here. I mean, from the first word to the end of the sentence as the topic sentence, first until the also up until here as the first reason, from also to the third to here as the second reason. The third amazing feature is the big old three. I mean, and at until here, from here to here, you can say that it is the third actually supporting detail. And finally, these three landmarks are truly amazing and make my hometown a famous place. This is the last sentence, and the last sentence is most of the time the same as the first sentence with regard to meaning. The words, I mean the wording is different, but the meaning is the same. And we have a question in reading scale most of the time in IELTS or other international and national exams. You have actually question in reading comprehension part or reading scale. You are faced with a text like this, but it doesn't have a title at the top. It doesn't have a name at the top. Okay, then the examiner the instruction says that what can be the best title for this text. Okay, then at that time you should read only the first sentence here. My hometown is famous for is famous for several amazing natural features. based on this first sentence, and if it is not possible, you can use the last sentence as well, but the first sentence most of the time is enough. Then based on the first sentence, you can put a title here. My hometown is famous for several amazing natural features. For example, you can say that several amazing natural features of my hometown. This can be the title of this text. And here, if you carefully read the text, you can see that first, second, and third, all of them are the natural, actually, features, amazing features of that place, that hometown. Okay, then it suffices to read the first sentence. Okay, you can read the first sentence and answer that reading comprehension question. This is most common in IELTS and TOEFL. Most of the time in IELTS we have one question in reading comprehension like that. What is the name of this text, or what can be the best title for this text? Okay, this is very easy to answer, but most of these students miss the score here because they can't answer because they don't know how to answer this question. This is very easy. Then if you know how to write, you can know how to. You can understand better. You can know how to read as well. Then you can answer the questions in reading skill as well better than when you don't know how to write. Here is the practice. You should do this practice and send me the result. We have another text here, the hazards of movie going. Here we have a one paragraph essay here. Although I love movies, going to see to going to see them drives me slightly crazy. First of all, here you can see another problem is that the teacher itself, the theater itself is seldom a pleasant place to be. And if you if you read the text, you can go down the lines and you can find maybe the third reason, the fourth reason, and the fifth reason. But at the end, you can see, all in all, this means that we are actually going to the end of the paragraph. All in all, this is the sign of a summary here. This is a transition here. This means that we are ending the paragraph. All in all, to sum, or in short, or in summary, or to sum up, all these words show that you are actually finishing the discourse, the discussion. They are called the transition words. We will talk about them in our actually we are talking about them in our grammar lessons, grammar courses. You can attend them for the IELTS and for the academic purposes. And then you should read this text, and if you can change the text some places, you can change it. You are allowed to change it. If you just think that you can put a better title here at the top, yeah, then you can put a better title here. You can revise the text. Okay, though, there is no problem here. You are allowed to do it. And after that, based on the above paragraph, fill in the following outline. This you should divide that paragraph into three parts: introduction, or the topic sentence; body, the supporting idea; and finally the conclusion. This is the whole story with regard to one paragraph essays. We will have some practices together, okay, so that you can learn so that you can learn how to write a one paragraph essay, because it is the first step. If you want to write a good paragraph, or in general, if you want to write well, then you should know how to write one paragraph, okay, single paragraphs. And it's I recommend you write at least 101 paragraph essays. This will help you learn how to write. Have a nice time and see you soon in our other courses.